Hi everyone, my name is Vivian Cabrera. I am originally from Guatemala, but I've lived in South Florida my whole life. My parents actually brought me here when I was 2 weeks old, so this is the only place I've ever considered home. I am a mother of a 2-year-old boy. That is what I identify myself as first and foremost. I'm a parent. Then I would say I was probably a student first. I definitely take my studies very seriously. I'm working towards my BSW, hopefully in the path to go into your master's. And then I would say I'm a professional. Currently, I work in the pediatric emergency room as a unit secretary at Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. I've actually been within the memorial system for about 11 years now, and I can say I'm definitely very happy. That's actually what my goal is. My ultimate goal would be to definitely work in the pediatric emergency room as a social worker. We actually have a social worker with us right now, and that's where I basically get all the experience that I do have in social work and in child welfare. I get to sometimes follow her and sometimes go in and translate and just see the situations that are going on. She knows that I'm actually working towards this goal, so she tries to keep me involved as much as she can. As far as the physicians and the nurses, I get to hear what she definitely says to them. And as far as the parents, child welfare, we only know the surface because it is the emergency room. If she ever has to call DCF or if she ever has to call in a case, she'll tell me exactly what she needs to do and the whole process and everything else. Unfortunately, because we do work in the emergency room, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with these children, and sometimes they get admitted and sometimes they get discharged. But she tries to follow up and she tries to let me know what's going on. So I definitely have somebody next to me that definitely tries to teach me as much as she possibly can, which is great, because like I said, my goal is to eventually work in the pediatric emergency room after I finish my master's, which is definitely in hopefully the near future. I think the most important personal attribute that I bring is a sense of openness. I try to be open and try to be understanding with the parents and the patients that we definitely deal with. Like I said, I've been in the hospital system for about 11 years now, so I have interacted with a lot of different parents and a lot of different patients, and because they are pediatric patients, it does become a little bit harder. But I try to be as open and try to be as understanding and try to be genuine about it. I feel that, you know, being genuine, the parents can definitely pick up on it, and children can definitely pick up on that. So I try, and I feel as though the parents, for the most part, are pretty open about, you know, talking to me in the position that I'm in or different things like that and how I can help them. I feel as though the most important thing I feel as though what I'm most worried about this semester is just the workload. I am taking 3 classes in the summer, and I do work full time, and like I said, I do have a 2-year-old. So just the workload and trying to balance everything out. I think that everybody has to play a balancing act, especially when they're in school, and they do work like most people. But I feel as though just the workload in itself and the time it's going to take and the technology you use. This is the very first time I'm actually using this video, so I hope everything is going out okay. The characteristics that I value most in the fellow students is just being as much a hard worker as I am. If I have to put forth the effort, then I expect everybody else to put forth the effort. I'm not very big in group activities because, you know, I know that I'm a hard worker, and kind of depending on your other fellow students sometimes can be tough, and I've definitely been in that situation. But I try, and I try to work well with others, and I just expect, you know, my other students, my other classmates to show me that same respect by working just as hard. As far as this video is concerned, I was a little bit taken back by it. I feel as though the video seemed to be very honest, and I did appreciate everybody and the different roles that they played. I would say that I would definitely not be able to do the intake and investigation. I think that's a very hard role, and I would have a hard time separating work life and home life, and I don't want to bring all that stuff home and the hours and everything else that you have to put into. Something that I might be interested in the adoption services. I feel as though that's something that might be benefiting towards the families, and it might be more rewarding. I know not every story is going to be a happy ending, and there are some cases, but I feel that for the most part it will be a little bit safer and a nice easy transition, because it seems as though working with child welfare can be a lot. The video did say that it is a lot of time, and it's not necessarily cookie cutter and Monday through Friday 9 to 5. So I think that just the flexibility of it is something that I was definitely surprised with hearing. I didn't think it was going to be so like so not necessarily 9 to 5 type of thing. I didn't know that, you know, you have to definitely put extra time and extra hours and, you know, driving to and from. I know that somebody said that, you know, you have to sometimes spend 8 hours a week in the car just going back and forth. So that's definitely something that I'm interested in, and I just want to know a little bit more about. But other than that, I think that, you know, I'm interested in this class, and I'm interested in what it has to offer, and I'm very open-minded, and I wish everybody the best of luck. Thank you. Bye.